What, you mean a string of nonsensical emojis? Fire, sword, donut, spaceman, clock, dancing lady, flashlight, thumbs up. How am I supposed to know what that means?
I ignited the flaming sword, used it to cut a hole in space and time. Mum's light flooded through it, then it closed up behind her. All good.
Oswald, my friend!
Bruce Wayne, what a lovely surprise. You certainly are getting out quite a lot these days, aren't you?
The way I see it, everyone else in this town is having fun. Why shouldn't I?
I agree. You and your insanely large bank account are more than welcome here.
We're going to need your shrink ray, Ray.
I'm not particularly fond of that name.
Our volume just completely died. Or did it?
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Phantom Zone. Okay.
Not on my end, it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been having some volume problems, and I've noticed because I've played the recordings, and they don't sound good on the recordings either.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it's coming through on my end. Is he using your side?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think so, because it doesn't sound. I mean, because I don't think so.
Because I listened to mine last week, and it sounded just fine.
Okay, well, yeah, I don't know what he's using. I don't know what Rob's using. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Phantom Zone.
What?
Yeah, as we kind of grumble about production quality here. Yeah, you don't care about that stuff. Well, maybe you care about the production quality a little.
Maybe you do.
Because you do want us to sound good, right?
Of course.
Okay, so welcome to episode 128, everybody. For the week ending January 27th, 2018, although we're kind of a little behind a few days.
We are a few days behind, sir.
Yeah, so this week, 6 shows, once again, same shows as last week. So we're going to talk about Lucifer, 313. We're going to talk about Supergirl, 312. The Flash, 412. And then on the B side, as we flip our 33 1/3 record over to that's vinyl for you hipsters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about Black Lightning, episode 3 of the first season, Arrow 612, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 510.
What do we call it? Mid-season
finale, I would think, because I mean, if the season's like 22 episodes, it's roughly the mid-season.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a minute. How's this?
Amazing! Amazing! Amazing!
It was amazing! Amazing! Amazing!
Good. I just barely changed something. So We'll see.
Yeah, it sounds good. All
right.
So, let's just dive right in, because we got lots to talk about.
By the way, vinyl
always.
is the way you're supposed to listen to the podcast. We were made for listening on vinyl.
Okay.
So. Isn't that how people always talk about vinyl?
Oh, yeah.
Correct.
Exactly. So essentially, Rob Southgate, our editor, needs to release some vinyl versions of the Phantom Zone podcast.
Yeah, I think so.
The Phantom Zone on vinyl. But we're only going to release it in Portland because it's hip.
And we got to talk like we were on NPR.
Oh, yeah. Yes, we have to talk really close to the microphone and with soft, dulcet tones.
Yeah. So, how did you like Lucifer this week, Charles?
I enjoyed Lucifer quite a bit, to be honest with you.
Okay, let's go back to our record.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. I can talk like fast-talking 1940s guy.
I hate to say it, but people really like it when I talk like that.
Really? They do?
So let's stop that.
Okay, we don't want to, let's not get creepy.
People tend to enjoy it when I talk in that voice for some reason. I don't know why. Right. Exactly.
All right. So, Lucifer, 313, Till Death Do Us Part, written by Mike Costa, directed by Sherwin Schlatti.
Alrighty.
That's easy for you to say. Right. And what's our A, B, and C, Karen?
A, B, and C. A story, Neighborhood Death Watch.
Death Watch. Yes.
Still a better love story than Twilight.
What isn't? Ba-dum-bum. Yeah.
Right. And MFF-ish. Now, do you know what MFF means?
I know what MF means, but, hey, Rob kind of frowns upon me using that.
It's not that MF.
Okay.
Male, female, female.
Okay.
So when it comes to relationships...
Is this like a fanfic type thing?
No, not a fanfic thing. A fic thing.
A fic thing.
It's a category
Okay.
in actual fiction. If you go to a library, you can look up MFF books.
Okay.
So it would be threesome books.
Nice.
MFF. And they have MFM, which would be 2 males and a female, but the males don't have a relationship. And then you can have MMF, which would be 2 males and a female, where the males are bisexual. So, I mean, you can really go. So MFF would be 1 male and 2 female, where the females also have a relationship.
My brain all explode.
Well, FMF would be where the male has a relationship with the 2 females, but the females don't touch. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. But MFF...
Like they don't interact.
Correct.
Got it.
MFF would be, of course, male 2 female, where they all interact.
Got it. All right. Well, that's our podcast, everybody. Thanks for joining us. No.
So MFF-ish
Yes.
is, of course, the storyline with Charlotte, Dan, and Maze. Because she did want to have a bit of a thing with Charlotte. And, of course, she's not averse to Dan either.
That's true. Well, obviously, Mazikeen kind of goes both ways.
Right.
Actually, probably goes in all kinds of directions.
All kinds of ways.
Yeah, so kind of like Captain Jack Harkness on Torchwood and
Right.
Doctor Who. So.
And Lucifer.
Yeah, and Lucifer.
And I put the ish there because, of course, it wasn't really that she wanted to be with Charlotte. It was just a thing. We can talk about that first if you want. That she was attracted to Charlotte because she felt that kind of desperation in her from having been to hell because she was dead.
Right.
And then she was resurrected, so she had that kind of lost.
Well, let's remember that also that Mazikeen tortured Charlotte repeatedly.
Well, the Charlotte that used to be.
Yeah. It used to be the mother of angels.
Right.
Right.
But who she's really interacting with is the woman who was in hell while Mom was in her body.
Right.
So she's sensing that lingering sort of
connection.
Right, I think so. From her. And then she realizes, oh, well, you're just this normal chick. And I'm just sensing that latent leftover desperation. And that wasn't exciting to her at all. So off she went. But Dan and Charlotte's reaction at dinner was pretty priceless, I thought. Neither one of them wanted to be there in that situation. But I think Dan was like, well, if that's something you're into, then...
Yeah. Well, Charlotte and Dan are trying to have this date, and then Mazikeen shows up.
Right.
And screws up the whole thing. And Dan's all pissed off at Mazikeen, understandably so. Mm-hmm. And Charlotte's just like, okay, I'm a mess.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love how Maze shows up, and Charlotte's like, so you two know each other? And Maze says, yeah, we killed a guy once.
Now, as an attorney, doesn't she have an obligation to the court or whatever?
Well, if she had taken it seriously.
As long as it's not her client.
If she had taken it seriously, yes, but I don't think she did.
Okay.
And Dan's like, Maze, aren't you funny? Ha 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 ha.
Yeah. Oh, that wacky Maze, just talking about killing people, as she does. Right. You know how she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought it was amusing and cringy and
right.
a lot of different things. And it just shows that Charlotte is still working through that. I mean, we found out since then as well that she does have some lingering memories of being in hell and living things over and over and over again. So she was a horrible person.
Right.
Bad enough to be in hell when she died.
Yeah, this is well, it's also interesting because remember Charlotte at first didn't want anything to do with Dan, and Dan was all heartbroken
Right.
because after the mother of angels left Charlotte's body, he's just like, but we hooked up and everything, you know, and Charlotte's just like, get away from me.
Right. Well, she didn't know, to be honest.
No, I understand that, but my point is now
Right.
she's come around to the point like, okay, she's asking Dan on a date.
Right.
So
Which is, and it was a cute thing
Right.
too when she and Trixie kind of got together and asked Dan out.
yeah.
Which-
Any scene with Trixie is always gold.
I know.
We've talked about that repeatedly.
Yeah.
All right, so Neighborhood Death Watch.
Yep, the main story. Of
This is of course the big. There's essentially what happened is that for this week's case of the week is that this woman named June was stuffed into a wood chipper
Yeah, don't you know?
in this real suburban neighborhood. Yeah.
So you were with the big one, eh?
So suddenly we're on the set of Fargo.
Yeah. Every time I see someone's legs coming out of a wood chipper, I can't help but flash to that movie.
I never actually watched. No, I've watched parts of it.
You
Of
should
Fargo, but I
watch
haven't
it.
watched the whole thing.
Sit down and watch
It's just
it.
one of those things that like it comes on cable, the movie, and I kind of check in for a little bit, and then
And
something goes on, and
drift away or something.
my short attention span makes me wander.
Yeah.
Kind of like now. So, all right.
Sorry.
What is this bizarre segue that's happening right now?
That was a minor.
It was.
That was
I
we've
played
had much
bigger.
Well, much worse.
Yeah.
Digressions on this
Yeah.
show.
In this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. So, essentially, what happens in this episode is that in order to try to kind of get a feel for the neighborhood and kind of get some leads, Lucifer and Pierce, aka Kane, end up posing as a gay couple. And wackiness ensues, and gay stereotypes fly like nobody's business.
Yeah, but Pierce was there to not be a gay stereotype.
Right? But Lucifer is totally the gay stereotype.
Okay, but still, come on.
He is flamingly gay in this.
And I have to say,
Posing as flamingly gay.
there's a reason for that gay stereotype.
Yeah.
You know that, right? Because it exists in
Right.
real
But
life.
I know gay people that aren't that
Oh, of
stereotype.
course. There are many gay people that aren't.
So
There are gay people that act like Pierce.
So this kind of affected my rating because I do
Did it?
know gay. Yeah, it did because I'm just like, I don't, I'm not really down with, the kind of let's have some wacky laughs at, about posing as a gay couple.
I thought it was funny, especially because I thought he was playing it up to make Pierce uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I thought that was most of why he was playing it up.
Oh, I'm sure it was, but just that.
Like I thought he had a reason behind it.
But there were some scenes where he's playing it up and Pierce isn't anywhere around either.
Yeah, he was doing it for the neighbors or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seemed a little. That it might have been a little. That'd been more of a thing like in the '90s, not so much today. Maybe.
I liked it.
Yeah. Just maybe it's just me. I just kind of rubbed me
thought
the
it was
wrong
cute.
way. It was all right.
Yeah, I can see where it would do that.
Yeah.
I can.
So, I don't want to be a downer though, so I'll just
No,
move
it's
on.
all right.
I'll just move on about that.
I get it.
Yeah.
I do get it.
All right. If you didn't have a problem with it, that's cool.
Sure.
That's cool. All right. So they're posing, trying to get some information, and they find out that there's like this woman that's like marketing drugs to parents in the neighborhood.
June.
That's right. June was the one who was marketing to the parent. You're right.
Right.
So
She was manufacturing the drugs.
right.
And she had gone from manufacturing the drugs to a cartel to moving to this nice neighborhood and doing it for the
right.
the parents and stuff in the neighborhood. So she had gone from this K-pop drug to this kind of Adderall type drug.
Right. And I think it was funny that they called the drug K-pop because K-pop is it's short for Korean pop.
Right.
So Korean pop music, and that's where it got its name, which is why we hear in the episode some actual K-pop music.
Right. Which was great, actually.
Right.
I also wanted to bring up...
That wasn't Gangnam Style.
No, I know it wasn't. That hallway fight, which is what you're referring to, right?
Yes,
the hallway fight with the music?
Yeah.
Okay. There is a machinima. Have you ever seen machinima?
Yeah. I thought it was machinima,
Yeah.
but... Okay.
Machinima?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
I've heard it both ways.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be psych. But I've heard it both ways.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a machinima called...
You've heard it here. Karen goes both ways. Just saying.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
Love is love. That's all I have to say.
There you go.
There is one in the WoW universe, Warcraft universe, called Blind. And it is one of the best machinimas I've ever seen. Ever.
Yeah.
And it has K-pop music in it. And it really reminded me of that hallway fight. It's a rogue from both sides, the Alliance and the Horde, and they're fighting, and they kind of do this.
Why don't you explain what a machinima or machinima is?
In this case, it's...
For those who might not be familiar with the term.
They take characters from the game,
Yeah.
and they make an animated movie with it, and they set it to music, and...
like a music video.
Like a music video, right.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what a machinima is, period. I mean, that they take game footage and things like that, and they turn it into a movie. So it's a video of a rogue, an Alliance female rogue, an Alliance male rogue, and a Horde female rogue. And the female rogue is breaking into the castle, the main castle on the Alliance side, and she's trying to assassinate the evil king. It's a king who's in disguise. I'm not going to go into a big deal. But they end up kind of doing this rogue dance when they're fighting each other, and it's kind of like they kind of fall in love over this little fight, and they end up, giving each other the same little scar at their eye before they leave, and then they turn and look at each other, and it's like, if only we weren't on the wrong side, and then they leave. But the machinima...
Nothing says true love like giving scars to each other on the face.
You should look it up. Seriously, it's called Blind. It is so good, and the music is amazing, and it really reminded me of that music in the hallway and that kind of dance that he did with those guys in the hallway.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, this reminds me so much of that, of that Blind. And I was going to say something about it too here, but I urge you guys, if you're into that sort of thing, you should really look at a Blind. Just look at a Blind WoW machinima, however you want to say it, but it's MACHIM INIMA. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I can't spell in my head.
That's okay. So no spelling bee for Karen.
No, I have synesthesia.
That's right.
So
that's right. Yeah.
Color.
Right. So you see colors. Yes.
Right. So I see colors, and the letters don't come out right.
Right.
So yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Blind anyway. But that scene was really great with that K-pop music. It was amazing.
One of the other scenes that I liked in this was that when Lucifer gets this idea in his head that he wants to draw out the neighborhood watchdog.
Yeah.
And he throws this huge party in front of his house and blasts music.
Yeah.
There's girls in bikinis and
so great. And he's barbecuing.
He's barbecuing. Then late at night he's doing all this noisy power tools and stuff. And
yeah. It was great. And Pierce comes out into the garage and he's like, it's 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
And they're having an argument, and that just happens to be when the guy is putting the note in their mailbox, and Chloe's trying to get their attention, and they're fighting.
Makes you wonder why the cops weren't called for disturbing the peace.
Right.
Yeah, because that could have been fun.
Right. So it turns out that this one guy is the neighborhood watch.
Yeah.
He gets called in. It's not him. They show him the note. But hey, guess what? He notices that he recognizes the handwriting on the note.
Of his wife.
Right.
Yeah, it's this guy named Brian. And he stops his wife from signing the guest book because he knows that they're trying to match up the handwriting.
Right.
And, it turns out that Brian's wife knew Brian had an affair with June, and she didn't mean to kill her, but she killed her.
Right.
And,
but Brian didn't have an affair with her.
Right.
He was just buying drugs from her.
Oh, is that all?
Well,
so, wah.
It's better than having an affair, right?
Yep. There you go. Yeah.
I always have to find it.
Yeah, that's okay. At least you found it. That's all that matters. Yeah. Okay. Now that I can't hear you anymore.
You can't?
Oh, you're down a little quiet again.
Am I again?
Yeah, it comes down a little. After the sound effect played, you got quiet.
Hello?
There you go.
Better?
Better. Yeah, sorry. I keep thinking we need to have like a please excuse our technical difficulties type sound effect.
Well, as soon as I get a sound card.
Yeah, there you go.
I think my the onboard sound. I only have an onboard sound card because it was a gaming PC. It was fine.
Yeah.
But I think something shook loose.
It's on its last legs.
Yep.
Yep. All right. So anything else? Oh, let's see. We still a better love story than Twilight.
No, that's
that was basically it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else about this episode before we move on?
Well, he and Pierce are still arguing over whether he can be killed, and there's lots of chainsaws coming out and Maze's weapons coming out.
Right. Well, at the beginning of the episode, Pierce is just like, I don't know about this chainsaw things. And then at the end of the episode, after spending time with Lucifer, he's like, all right, go ahead and try the chainsaw. I know you want to try. I know you want to try killing me with the chainsaw.
Right. And we have learned now that celestial things won't kill him.
Right.
Because they've tried that.
He tried the blade of Azrael or whatever it was, wasn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Something. And he tried demon forged blades. And Pierce told him that if he's cut in half, only one side will regenerate, which is cool.
Right.
And he learned some other stuff about him in this episode. So we learned a little more about the mark of Cain, that no normal or celestial things can kill him.
Well, here's an idea. Why not dunk him in acid so he's like disintegrates?
I bet he would rise.
Okay. Just saying.
The acid.
I would try the acid.
Back into him.
Okay.
Or maybe it wouldn't damage him at all.
Yeah, who knows? That's a good point. All right. All right, so what's your rating for this one?
I loved it. I know you took down.
That's okay.
But I thought it was really good. I gave it a 9.5 bowls of hummus.
Okay.
Don't put the hummus on the other side. You'll drip it all over the table. I love that.
Yeah, they have this big fight in front of everybody. And it's just,
They were actually fighting, though.
I know, but just...
it was a for real fight.
It was a little cringy. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but it was a for real fight.
I understand that. Okay. Okay, so because of that, I was a little not as into this. Although I did enjoy it, but I just wasn't as enthusiastic as you. So I gave it 8 hedge trimmers.
That's what the guy came at.
Yeah, because basically, he's trying to like go after Chloe because it's like, hey, get away from
Right. He didn't want to kill anyone.
Essentially, holding off the police with hedge trimmers.
Right. To keep them from.
Yeah, going after arresting his wife. Yeah. It was a hedge trimmer standoff.
Right. And he had to know that wasn't going to really hold them off for long, right?
Yeah. So there you go. Hashtag hedge trimmer standoff.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. So let's move on to our next show. Supergirl 312 for Good. Mm-hmm. Teleplay by Cindy Lichtman. And Alex was spelled Alix. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sternberg.
Okay.
Directed by
some Alexes.
Just Alix. Okay, it's an interesting spelling. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
It's cool. Directed by Tanya McKiernan.
All right.
And what's her A, B, and C, Karen, if you would?
Representative of nothing.
Okay.
Become representative.
Okay.
Alex, Lexi, close enough.
Okay.
Do you get that one at all, Lexi?
Yeah, kind of. A little bit.
Do you? No?
No, not really.
It's all right. I'll tell you about it.
All right, please do.
And then George Zimmer didn't make that suit, right?
Now, is that from, the George Zimmer from the Men's Warehouse?
Correct.
Got it. That I knew.
Okay, good.
That I got that reference.
Okay, Lexi is the character that Kyler Lay played on Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, okay.
Which she made a reference
didn't
to.
watch it.
Okay, which she made a reference to in this episode when she said, "Yeah, I was an intern in a hospital in Seattle for a while, but that didn't work out." She made a reference like that, and well, she was, and then she died in a plane crash. So yeah.
See, this is why I like having you as a co-host, because obviously, as a woman, you're more inclined to watch a show like Grey's Anatomy.
Oh well, I watched it for like the first 6 seasons, but I, mean, didn't watch.
My point is more than me.
By the time that came around, I did.
Yeah.
You want to know why I watched?
Why?
Patrick Dempsey. Hello.
Okay. Now, is that McDreamy?
Yes.
Okay.
But McSteamy is also cool.
Okay.
So.
I remember McSteamy and McDreamy is the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't call him that.
That much I know. That much I know.
Patrick Dempsey, because
that much of the pop culture hit me. It hit
and
my
his name
radar.
Was also Derek on the show, which is a better name than McDreamy. So.
Yeah, slightly.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're like a franchise, a McDonald's franchise or something.
Right.
Or you're like an item on their
Here's
McDonald's
the
menu. Yeah, it's just
the McSteamy. Yeah.
Would you like the McDreamy with cheese or without?
And see, that's where I first saw what's his name from Negan.
Oh, Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yes, he played a pretty big part in that. Not a long part, but a very substantial part.
See, my first experience with Jeffrey Dean Morgan was, of course, Watchmen, where he played
Watchmen
the comedian.
Came after that.
Yes,
for me.
Right. But that was my point, is that's where I knew him from first. Okay. All right, so Representative of Nothing, which is a reference to representative, meaning, let's see here.
I think.
Line.
There's something
line.
Representative. Hold on a minute.
It's pretty bad when Karen, who came up with the thing, does not know.
I came up with it over the weekend.
You got to start putting these things in parentheses so you know what you're talking about.
I know.
Because I don't know what you're talking about.
Give me a minute. It was something to do with representative.
Okay. Was it Lillian or...
It was the main story.
Or was it Morgan Edge?
Well, just talk about it.
All right, we'll just talk about it. Okay, so essentially the big main plot in this week's episode is, well, we have Morgan Edge, who has been butting heads with Lena Luthor for some time now. Things are obviously still tense between them, and Edge is like just driving down the road, and when his gas pedal sticks, this is after he and Lena had just had this another tense moment.
Another run-in. Yeah.
Another run-in. So then somehow his car gets hacked, and so he dives out of the trunk of the car. He crawls through the back seat, lowers the back seat, opens the trunk door, and gets out that way before the car just kind of dives right off of a dock into the bay or whatever is out there, the river. And understandably upset, he storms into Catco, accuses Lena of hacking his car. Now, he has absolutely no proof whatsoever.
No, none.
None. He's just like fishy coincidence, huh? And so basically he's causing this big scene and ends up having to be escorted from the premises.
Mm-hmm.
And he warns her that he never loses, and so he's just ready to get his revenge. And at some point later in the episode, Miss Tessmacher brings in a cup of coffee for Lena, who starts convulsing and foaming at the mouth.
Right.
After, a little drinky. Turns out, surprise, she's been poisoned. And James makes this mad dash out to the coffee cart to try to see who poisoned her. Notices some shady-looking guy running away. And after chasing the guy, the worker ends up getting shot by a sniper, stopping James from getting any answers.
That's right.
So, have you no luck on the representative yet?
No, but I'm listening to what you're saying. I
Okay.
know what you're saying. We just talked about the coffee.
Okay, so yes, so I hope you're listening.
I am listening.
All right, good.
I can multitask.
Okay, so Edge ends up getting confronted by James, who essentially dresses up as Guardian, goes after Morgan Edge. And James starts laying into him, tries to interrogate him, and tries to talk all intimidating with his digitally altered voice, but it sounds exactly like
It
James.
still sounds like him, yeah.
And Morgan has to do is look into that little
eye hole, little Cylon eye hole.
Yeah, exactly. And essentially, he kind of looks like a toaster. His
does.
Toaster helmet,
Mm-hmm.
and that slit where his eyes are, and just oh, hey, it's James. I know those eyes, because if you just looked at James for any length of time, you would kind of know, hey, that's James.
Right.
But no, not so much. Not for Morgan Edge.
No.
And so James ends up informing everybody that the bullet that was used to kill the hitman was made using cutting-edge technology. Which, surprise, Lena figures out, oh, hey, L-Corp's been developing something like that.
Right.
And so,
okay,
go ahead.
Here's what I think it is.
Okay, what do you
I
think?
think I mean that, and it's a stretch.
Yeah.
I think I meant to replace it. I think it means that that it wasn't Lena doing it, that it was really her mother representative.
Oh, okay. Got it.
That's what I think it was.
Yeah.
And it's really terrible.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's okay. That's cool. So ultimately we find out that, oh, hey, Lillian's the one who killed the hitman that poisoned Lena.
Right.
And she tells Lena that, oh, hey, I'm going to take out Edge for you because, hey, nobody messes with my daughter.
Uh-huh.
And Lena's like, no,
right.
Bad idea. Waving her
Do
hands.
not want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
pass.
Yeah. So Lillian, there's this gala, this big gala, and
doesn't look that big, but
well,
it's a gala.
It's a gala. Generally gala
Yeah.
You don't
looks
say
like a pool
you don't
party.
say small gala, but yeah.
I know.
All right, so there's a gala, no size intended.
There's a pool party.
Yeah, exactly. So Lillian shows up. Well, I tell you that first we had Lena trying to get Edge to confess that he tried to kill her. So she's got her little digital recorder in hand trying to get him to confess, and he's like, nope, not going to do that. All of a sudden, one of Lillian's drones starts shooting at him.
Right.
And, of course, being Edge, being a coward, he panics and cops to everything, including the lead poisoning and the poisoning of Lena.
Right.
Right. So then Lillian shows up and is kind of pissed off at Lena because Lena didn't let her kill Morgan Edge.
Right. You took my joy away.
Yeah, exactly. Gerb. So then Lillian kind of goes completely off the rails, transforms her drone because it's a transformer. Transformers more than meets the eye.
We are two halves of the same brain. You know that, right?
Lex suit Roll out.
I loved seeing the Lex suit. By the way. It was very cool.
They actually teased the Lex suit in a previous episode, but they didn't get around to showing it until just now. So
right, a Cadmus episode, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So good continuity there, at least.
Yeah, it was.
So we got Lillian in this big old Luthor power suit, kind of like something Lex would wear, but
it looked good.
But hey, Lex isn't on this show, so Lillian gets to wear it.
Right.
Probably Lena eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking.
Do you think she's going to go bad? I don't think she's
already starting to go bad in this week's Supergirl that aired on Monday. That we'll talk next week.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, don't want to get no spoilers here, but yeah.
Well, don't tell me.
She's going to start sliding down the dark side.
I haven't seen it yet.
I have.
All right.
So trust me. All right. And then Mon-El shows up finally, gets around to showing up and doing something in this episode. Those two battle, and then Morgan takes Lena's device that had the recording of him and tries to get away with it, but there's essentially this foot chase. James stops him because he's suited up as the Guardian, tackles Edge. The recorder slides across the floor. Lena gets it back.
Right, by putting her F me heel on it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah, and that's pretty much it.
And then
the whole.
and Edge gets arrested because we've got his confession on recorded, right. And Lillian gets taken away on the gurney because she's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we have Alex is checking.
How'd I do with
Sam? You did great.
Thank you.
Alex is checking Sam to see why she might be losing that time.
Yeah.
And does a CAT scan on her brain. I'm sorry, an MRI on her brain.
Yeah.
I always block out those.
Yeah, you have a kind of a history with MRIs. So it's understandable.
Yeah.
I was going to call it MRI machines as my rating, but I changed it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have to get one soon.
Yeah.
So
I've been there. I've had MRIs done. So.
She gives her an MRI, and it's normal. Nothing out of the ordinary. And then
Sam's freaking out because she's like, wait, there has to be something wrong with me.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes that is true that you do freak out when you hear that nothing looks out of the ordinary because you want to know what the cause of these problems are.
Right, because something's happening. Sam just was like, I just want an answer. You of all people kind of would appreciate this. So, yeah. Myself included on this.
Yeah.
So
there are times when something is happening to you and you just want to know what it is.
Right.
And they say, well, it could be anything. No, it can't be anything. I want to know.
Well, what you want is to hear is okay, we found the cause and it's totally treatable.
And here's how to fix it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what you want to hear.
Right.
Ideally.
And sometimes you can't hear that. But
no.
Even though you may not be able to hear it in exactly those words, you still want to hear, hey, we have an idea of what it is.
Right.
But I don't like to hear, hey, your scan is unremarkable, which is what they usually tell you.
Yes.
Your scan is unremarkable. Even though I do have MS, which all you guys know already,
right.
They came back and they said, yes, we see some patches of it's white on your brain. I finally said, thank goodness you know what it is, because now I know and you can treat it. So
right.
I kind of know where she's coming from, where she wants to know what's happening to her. So, yeah, she is panicky at that point. And Lexi is taking blood. And, of course, we were all waiting, right, for that needle to break.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't break.
Nope. I was kind of surprised by that. Yeah. It seems like her powers kind of come and go as this persona the World Killer persona takes over the reign.
Was it that she was flooded with the kryptonite?
Oh, that's true. There was that from the previous episode.
Right? Was that kind of lingering?
We don't know. We don't know because nobody explained it to us.
Right. It could be that. It could be that her adrenaline had gone down so much. It could be that, when she's not this world killer persona, that she is more normal.
Right.
Remember, she tried to bend that that bar, and she couldn't do it that one time.
That's what I'm saying. It can't seem to come and go.
Yeah, so maybe it does ebb and flow.
But I think it's also tied in with the Rain persona.
Right.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm guessing we'll find out because they did make a big point of that taking blood thing. You know, they showed it real close up and slow enough that we were like, what?
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, pretty much. So, speaking of the world killers, we had, at the end of the episode, we find that Wynn tells Kara and Mon-El that, I've found 4 leads on potential world killers. Mm-hmm. And Kara singles out one of them, who's named Julia Freeman, as this one that she saw in a vision.
Right.
So, and that world killer is someone she faces off with next time. So, yeah.
Right. I saw that in the preview.
Yeah. So that's then we'll talk about that next week.
Next week.
Yes. So stay tuned, everybody. I can build suspense too, you know.
I know.
All right. Anything else about this episode?
No. I got it.
All right. Cool. So, what's your rating?
I give it 9 thrown keys. That was a good catch that Kara made. And everyone's like, how did he have his keys when he came out of the back of the car?
So you really like this one?
I did. I love this one. I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah. Again, this one I thought was okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have anything against it. I just thought it was kind of like, well, we're still kind of like treading water on the World Killer storyline, which I'm already kind of really bored of and wish it would kind of go away.
Already?
Yeah. I kind of wish that, the Supergirl would kind of be like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Gotham and kind of do like half seasons for their storylines instead of trying to draw it out the entire season. And The Flash is guilty of this. But it seems like the CW superhero shows, possibly with the exception of Black Lightning, tend to draw this out the entire season.
Yeah. Black Lightning seems to be going like this.
Yes. Yes, it does. But we'll talk about Black Lightning soon. So stay tuned for that. All right. So I give it 8 poisoned cups of coffee.
I kind of liked it because...
It was damn bad coffee. And
I liked it because and poisoned.
And poisoned.
Because we got to see the Lex suit. I thought they did a good job with the Lex suit.
Yeah.
I liked that they kind of shocked us with Sam not kind of...
We didn't get any easy answers.
Right. No easy answers. There wasn't a lot of CWE stuff in this one.
That was a plus, although James kind of drifted that a little bit.
Yeah, but it wasn't as much as it has been.
No, it was definitely better. I'll give you that.
And I thought the storyline between Morgan and Lena was pretty good, actually. Yeah. So for once, it wasn't like, and the main storyline, yada, yada, yada. You know, it was pretty engaging the whole way. So I was happy with it.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right.
Like I said, I didn't hate this one. I just thought it was all right.
I just like that when I call something out as good, I like to kind of justify it a little bit.
That's cool. You don't have to justify it. You just liked it.
Not to you so much.
Okay.
Just
to everybody.
Everyone.
Everyone. Okay.
Everybody.
All right. So our last show of our first segment.
The A-side.
The A-side.
Our last show of the A-side, everyone, is The Flash. 412, Honey, I Shrunk Team Flash.
Written by Sam Chalson and Judalina Nera. Directed by Chris Pepe.
That sounds great, Charles.
Why, thank you, Karen.
All right, let me give my title.
And now, before everybody falls asleep.
Yeah, right.
Right? Hopefully you're not falling asleep.
So the A story
is
finally someone understands how shrinking needs to work.
Because they watched the Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer. We'll get into that.
Yeah, but it's something that bothers me every time.
Well, it's kind of funny because, all right, the first trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp debuted the exact same day this episode of The Flash aired.
Right.
It was in the morning. They released the Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer. And then later in The Flash, there's a scene that pretty much duplicates what was in the Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer. Could be totally coincidence, presumably. But it
I
was
assume so.
but it was pretty interesting that shrinking was used for this effect in both the trailer and this TV
Right.
episode.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
Okay, B story, Joe's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Cecile reading his.
Well, that's every guy's worst nightmare.
Yeah, well.
If you're a married guy, or like, you have a girlfriend or whatever, or you're a woman who has a girlfriend or a wife, that's got to be your worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And then candid camera.
Yeah, candid camera. Okay. So, finally, someone who understands how shrieking works. Now, what I was talking about before with the Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer, in that trailer, Hank Pym, who's played by Douglas.
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas, thank you. Michael Douglas. There's a scene where he shrinks his entire office building down to the size of like a suitcase,
Mm-hmm.
and then pulls out a handle in this gag out of the building
Mm-hmm.
and carts it off like he's going to the airport, and this wheeling his carry-on.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I'm not
But
sure not sure how that works, considering how there would have to be plumbing connected to the building, electrical stuff.
Here, finally, someone who understands how shrinking needs to work. Now, it's not so much the building,
Yes.
but they do explain a little bit about how this guy's shrinking works. Is that he shrinks everything. He shrinks all the molecules around whatever he's shrinking.
Right.
Which is something that really bugs me when they shrink stuff, because you wouldn't be able to breathe.
Right. Well, that's kind of why they have Ant-Man wearing a helmet.
Right.
Is that
so that everything inside his helmet
presumably the oxygen molecules around you would be like normal size, but if you shrink, you wouldn't be able to breathe those oxygen
Correct.
molecules.
They'd be way too big for you to
Now,
breathe.
I think the way they get around it with the atom is that, well, hey, there's like a field around him that shrinks some oxygen
isn't that the
molecules.
thing?
But eventually that would run out, right?
Right.
Right.
You'd be breathing in the carbon dioxide you'd be putting out.
Unless you kept shrinking more molecules as they got close to you. That's the only thing I could think of.
Well, he must have some sort of a respirator
Right.
that takes in stuff and changes it.
But in the Ant-Man movies, at least they have these respirators.
Right.
Yes.
But he explained it in this one that the guy shrinks air and stuff.
Yes.
So
Not
I
quite-
was very happy about that.
Yeah. The guy that she's talking about is Dwarf Star.
Thank you.
Played by Derek Mears, who was on Twin Peaks recently.
Ooh.
Yes. And so I was he's played this character that ends up getting his wrist broken back
Ooh.
after this very powerful arm wrestling match.
Oh.
Yeah. Big snap. Yeah. And then he gets killed. But anyway. So Dwarf Star is this character that was created by Gail Simone and John Byrne in the pages of the all-new Atom. And essentially he served as the archenemy for the Ryan Choi Atom.
Okay.
And who would be the fourth Atom, I believe. And in the comics, Dwarf Star is essentially like a psychopath that's fond of knives, but hey, he can shrink down, so that makes him even more scarier. So, even more scary, yeah.
Even more scarier works.
Well, yeah, but even scarier. How's that?
And was his name Silbert Rundon there?
Yeah, he has
too?
a really dorky name, Silbert Rundon.
How'd you like that line in this one? Why does every criminal sound like he has a name from a comic book?
Yeah, that was cute.
Nice meta.
Yeah,
reference.
very meta reference. So, Dwarf Star, essentially in this episode, is confronted by Cisco and Ralph, who are wanting to stop him, and Dwarf Star is just like, okay, zap, you're shrunk down to a little teeny tiny size.
Right.
So they're like all of maybe a couple inches tall. Yeah, 2 inches tall or something.
Crushing
I'm
it.
crushing your head. You're crush, crush, crush. So, if you're an old school like Sid and Marty Krofft fan, we went all Dr. Shrinker on them.
Mm-hmm.
So, that used to creep me out as a kid.
Yeah.
Because that whole Dr. Shrinker, he's a madman with the evil. So he shrinks these people down. And they're stuck at that size.
Mm-hmm.
That was freaky as a kid watching.
Yeah, that was freaky.
Because you're
That-
just like they can't get back to normal size. Wait, what?
That and the bad guy from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang with the long nose scared me.
I
And then-
vaguely remember that.
Yeah, he
I
used to
haven't
keep
watched
kids
Chitty
in
Bang Bang since I was a kid.
he used to keep kids in cages. And then of course the tunnel ride from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Willy Wonka.
Yeah, that's disturbing.
Yes, it is.
Well, like especially like when Mike TV gets stuck in the TV.
I don't care about that.
You don't care about that?
No.
Okay.
There's no earthly
way. Johnny Depp version is just creepy because it's Johnny Depp.
I don't care about that.
But the Gene Wilder version, the good one.
Yes, the only one. Really.
Gene Wilder is kind of creepy too.
Yes.
If you look at him a certain way, he's really creepy.
It's a magnificent movie, though.
Yeah, it is. It's a much better movie than Tim Burton's version.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go watch that one instead of Tim Burton's version. Because hey, Gene Wilder. Enough said there.
Which way the boat is going?
Yeah. I always thought Gene Wilder, would make a great American Doctor Who.
He would have, I think.
You know, kind of like a Tom Baker kind of doctor.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, Gene Wilder.
All right. So we have little teeny tiny Cisco and Ralph kind of digs on Cisco. Is like, hey, I'm all Cisco size. One of the things that bug me though.
Yeah.
Okay. Ralph and Cisco are small.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they talk like they have helium voices instead of just sounding like really quiet? Right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll tell you one reason. Because their vocal cords are short.
Okay, but that wouldn't do anything. I mean, that would just make them sound like they would have normal vocal cords for them.
For them, but we would hear it.
But it'd be just like something really quiet on the ground.
They're short. We would hear it higher.
Really? Okay.
I think so.
I don't know about that because if that was the case, then
Well, the wave would be very, very short. Think about it. The wave coming off of their...
I know, we're getting all sciencey-wincy on this.
The wave coming off of their sound box would be really short.
But
I think we would hear it higher.
But proportionately, they're still adults.
It doesn't matter. The wave would be short.
I don't know. Maybe.
It's the length of the wave.
All right.
It's how we hear it.
Okay.
I think it would be really, really, really high.
Hmm.
That's why, like, mice and stuff are high, because they're...
Okay. All right. All right. I'm sure somebody knows the science behind this.
I don't know that it would sound like helium, but...
Where's Neil deGrasse Tyson when we need him?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. All right. Okay, so anyway, I just thought it was funny because, like, Ralph is bagging on Cisco's like, hey, I'm Cisco size.
Right. It's funny. And they do try a few things. I don't understand how the portaling thing would help in any way.
Yeah.
Why would that have helped?
I don't know. I mean, I understand trying to get Ralph to try to stretch back to normal size.
Sure.
But theoretically, if he has limited mass,
right,
he shouldn't be able to.
Nope. And his molecules are shrunk.
Right. So again, we get all sciencey about it, but yeah.
Right. But the portaling doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
Why would that do anything?
I don't think it would.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe they're just desperate. They're like, okay, let's try this. No, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And now there was Harry tries to invent this device to restore them back to normal size.
The embiggening.
The embiggening gun or whatever, yeah. And
that's what it's called.
Bum, 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 bum.
I loved it.
Yeah, so that doesn't quite work, and
in fact, it makes things worse.
Yeah, because hey, it makes Ralph and Cisco unstable, and to the point where their molecules are going to break down, and like they start basically. This is where you get the ticking clock narrative in storytelling to try to drive the third act a little faster. Although this is TV, so you have like 5 acts.
Right.
But so you try to count down, and they have so essentially 6 hours before Cisco and Ralph explode. They have to fix this somehow.
Maybe till then.
Now, ultimately, Harry comes up with the idea of like, okay, I'll just put Cisco and Ralph in my pocket and step in front of Dwarf Star's blast, because apparently Dwarf Star is just like, nope, not going to return you to normal size. Sucks to be you. Because, hey, bad guy.
Right. Which
And,
is true.
Right.
Yeah.
So somehow Harry jumps in front of the blast, but only Cisco and Ralph are affected by the blast.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Like, just because they're in his pocket, somehow they absorbed all the blast. You would think that Harry would be shrunk, and then they would be shrunk even more.
Right.
Right? I don't get how being blasted by the same blast twice reverses it.
I don't either.
But okay. Now
That's not right.
if you reverse the polarity of the neutron flow, then maybe you could reverse it.
He would have to do something on that gun.
Yeah. To use it like my little Doctor Who phrase there.
To embiggen them. Yes.
Yes. I tried to do it in John Pertwee.
You did very good.
Reverse the polarity of the neutron flow.
You did very good.
Thank you. Yeah. Not as good as like, maybe Sean Pertwee could do it, but
No.
because he's John Pertwee's son, as we talk about on Gotham. Thank you. No applause necessary. Just send money. But
Well, I gave it to you.
okay, I'll take the money now. If we have
Sorry,
money.
I don't have
no money.
that.
No money. All right, yeah. I guess I'm
No.
asking the wrong person, aren't I?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. So what else about this? Okay. So they basically get restored to normal size, and Caitlin tells Cisco and Ralph that their cells have stabilized somehow.
Right.
Magically. They're magically delicious.
It was cute.
Yeah. And it was cute because they could.
Are you calling them leprechauns? Because that's racist.
Well, yeah, it is. And I'm Irish, so yes.
See?
Yeah.
You said they were magically delicious.
No, I was talking about the magic results, but
I
yes,
know.
the way yeah.
I'm making fun.
I understand. That bothered you when I said that, didn't it?
What?
About Lucifer.
No, it didn't.
Okay.
I'm actually making fun of the fact that you told me I was being mean to my cat.
Oh, is that it? Okay. That was something else. She is kind of being mean to her cat a little bit.
I wasn't. I just called her a little dumb. Because she is being a little dumb today.
Okay. I called her out for verbal abuse on her animals.
Just said Sarah was being a little... She was trying to go out the hinge side of the door.
All right. Okay, so Joe's worst nightmare. As I try to move us along, Joe just sitting around when all of a sudden Cecile, his pregnant squeeze.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, you got to put a ring on that? Just asking for a friend. Because,
Aren't they engaged?
I think so. I don't know, but maybe they are. They might be engaged. I don't want to. I'll allow that one because maybe they are engaged.
I'm not sure whether they are.
It's a little vague. Let's just put it that way.
It is a little vague.
All right. So Cecile somehow has developed the ability to read minds,
which she is delighted with.
Right. Now, Caitlin chalks it up to, hey, pregnancy hormones.
Right. Like.
So, but how wouldn't every woman in the world suddenly be able to have the ability to read minds?
It's a leftover from the
more than women don't already have that ability, but just
it's a leftover from the blast, though, is what she's saying.
From what blast?
When the thing exploded. She was in the city when the
the particle accelerator wave.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And she said there was some residual stuff in it.
Okay, I missed that part. Okay.
Okay. And
I was
the baby.
I was just kind of a little vague of like, okay, how did she like somehow get this power? But if
No, that and the baby
I should have figured
triggered.
particle accelerator weights.
Yeah, and the baby triggered that
Yeah,
effect, and
yeah.
then as soon as
It activated the metagene inside her somehow.
Right,
Yeah, I
right.
got it.
and as
Okay.
soon as she gives birth, then those hormones won't be as active, and
Right. So presumably after she pops out the kid.
Right.
Now, will the kid be telepathic?
well, she can't find any of those markers in the child,
Yeah.
so she doesn't think so. But that doesn't mean anything,
Yeah.
does it?
Hopefully we don't find out that, the thinker is the father of the baby. Dun, dun, dun.
Better not be.
Yeah, I know. I hope not. If they go that route, I'm done with this show.
No.
I mean, this show asks a lot of you as well, but all right. So Cecile keeps reading everybody's minds, and normally the telepaths like kind of tend to struggle with like all these thoughts barraging them. Not Cecile. She's totally cool with this. She's just like, this is awesome.
She's reading everyone's mind.
And won't shut the hell up about it.
Oh, and she's calling people out. She's a thief.
Yeah. Thief. Where's my thief? Yeah.
Yeah.
But she she's bringing up all this stuff, and everybody just like, Joe's just like, baby, be cool, just relax.
I love when they were bringing her to the scene, and who was it that brought her to the scene? Someone brought her to the scene of the murder or whatever, and they were like, yeah, she's been doing this all the way over here, and she won't stop.
Yeah. Now, Cecile, a lawyer, zero respect for everybody's privacy with this new pound power. She's just totally power tripping on this.
That guy's cheating on his wife.
But everybody just like, she just does not care at all.
Right.
And I'm just like, come on, Cecile.
Yeah.
Show a little maturity somehow. At least attempt to not read everybody's minds.
No.
And Joe gets to the point where he's like deliberately trying to go like la la la, sing songs in his head and stuff.
He was thinking of what, like Pink Elephant?
Something like that. So he's basically trying to block her out from reading his thoughts.
That's why I put Joe's worst night.
Yeah.
Because they went to see the therapist, Angie, again.
Yeah.
And he just kept thinking of the pink elephant the whole time. So, poor Joe.
And she gets all mad, like, you're blocking me.
Right. And so would
and
I.
if I were Joe, I'd be like, damn straight I'm blocking you.
That's right. Don't get in my head. This is my thought.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd like it if it was the other way around.
A little violation much?
Yeah.
Really?
Get out.
Yeah, pretty much. So apparently she has these telepathic abilities. So, which I'm sure will come into play very soon.
I'm guessing they will.
Yes. So, all right. Let's see. Canon camera.
Yes. This is now the Bert, who was our main villain.
Yeah.
The reason they went to see him is because Big Sur.
Yeah.
Big Sur was accused of this crime, which he's in jail for.
Right.
But Bert was the actual perpetrator.
Right.
So they had gone to see him to try and prove that he was the criminal.
Yeah, and this is after Barry, like, Big Sur confides into Barry that, hey, he was set up.
Right.
And so Barry makes this promise to Big Sur, like, okay, we'll get what we need from Dwarf Star.
Right.
To get you released from prison.
Right. Big Sur is not helpful.
He should not be making this promise.
No, he shouldn't.
And so by the end of the episode, they capture Dwarf Star, but he doesn't want to tell. He's like, forget you guys. I'm not squealing.
Right. Of course not.
Yep.
But since he promised this to Big Sur, and they do have the criminal who caused it, Barry looks around, makes sure that nothing's watching him, and he breaks Big Sur out of jail and takes him to the Orient, wherever it was.
But this small Chinese town, and drops him off. He talked about this like being an idyllic place,
right?
So essentially, so Barry takes it upon himself to circumvent the law
Right.
Mr. Superhero circumventing the law and springs Brigser on his own volition and drops him off and leaves him there.
Right.
So that he's a free man.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody wonders where Big Sur went.
Right.
Well, as it turns out, though, Barry's sitting in his jail cell when all of a sudden Warden Gregory Wolf, the warden of Iron Heights Prison, who, if you read the comics, know is all kinds of shady,
Yep.
reveals that, oh, guess what? He knows that Barry's the Flash because, surprise.
That's not the only camera.
Yeah. Yeah, it turns out, had some cameras installed near your cell and, watched them on slow-mo.
Yep. I know who you are.
And Barry apparently being very clueless about it because these cameras are right out in plain view.
Mm-hmm.
Not really thinking.
Well, he shouldn't have done it anyway.
Yeah, no, he shouldn't have. So, again, Barry being really horrible about a secret identity.
Right.
Right. At least he's consistent. That's right. So, after the warden reveals this, Barry ends up collapsing because, hey, the warden slipped him a Mickey.
Yep.
And, or roofied him, take your pick. And, warden just essentially takes Barry to an undisclosed location and calls up none other than Amunet Black, a.k.a. Blacksmith.
Mm-hmm.
Starbuck from Battlestar Galactica.
Right.
Katie Sackhoff.
Yeah.
And says, oh, hey, I got a new metahuman for you.
That's right.
And you're going to like this one. It's a biggie.
Yep.
All
It
right.
is the Flash.
The Flash. So then that's pretty much it, unless there's something else that you want to talk about.
I think that's everything.
Okay.
I was a little irritated by Cecile in this episode.
Yeah. So you actually went lower than me on this one.
A little bit,
A little
not
bit.
by much.
Yeah, not much. We're pretty fairly consistent.
I thought it was funny, though.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. And so what is your rating?
I rated it 8 Lego sets.
Yeah, because essentially they drop Cisco and Ralph off in this little Lego playset.
The one that they had recreating the street where Iris got killed.
Yeah. Their leftover model set. Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Reuse.
And Ralph just wants to know where the bathroom is.
And recycle. Yeah, okay. How did that work?
Yeah, because Caitlin apparently has to pick Ralph up. Well, you would think if he said he had to pee, so maybe he just peed in a sink or something.
I would hope so, because I wouldn't want him to go down the toilet or down the
exactly.
drain. Or...
Yeah, because otherwise then it gets all Willy Wonka.
Right. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So hopefully it was just he peed in the sink, I would think.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, and then he talked about we're going to put you in a hamster cage.
Yeah.
Which I'd be like, no, that's not happening.
Right.
That's not happening.
No.
That's not
No.
right.
Yeah, so I give it 8 Lego sets. So what did you give it?
I like this one a little better than you. I thought it was pretty funny, and I thought it was a good balance. So I gave it 8.5 tiny Ciscos.
It's funny that we like the ones where Flash is hardly in it.
Well, I'm ready for the trial to be over.
Yeah, me too.
And having watched last night's episode of The Flash, I'm encouraged because there's a major development.
Good. Of course I haven't seen that yet.
And proves that my 4-episode hypothesis may have been right.
Oh, good.
So, yay.
Excellent.
Because this would be episode 3.
3.
And if you're, for those of you keeping score. And,
by the way.
Yes.
Did you notice that Barry doesn't know how to make hash marks correctly?
Yeah, he doesn't do the line across.
The 5.
For the
right.
5. No.
That bugs me.
Yeah, it does. He's kind of like Rey in Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Yeah, she's in a different universe, though.
I understand that.
Barry lives in our universe.
Barry does his own thing. He's just 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1.
6, though. He does 6, and then he's on the next line with 6.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I'm like, okay, why 6, and why don't you do the 5 thing, dude? Come on.
I don't know.
Doesn't everyone? Okay. Anyway, I don't want to harp on
most
that.
people
but-
would do the 1, 2, 3, 4 slash
and then the
for
hash
5.
across.
Yes,
Right.
Yeah. I'm sure Victor Zaz would do that.
Right, because that's an easy way to see 5.
Yes.
You can count
Yeah, and then
5,
when
10, 15, 20,
and when
25, 30.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's the whole point of
You're
doing
preaching to the choir here.
that. Okay.
I don't get it either. But
Good.
yeah, I did notice
right.
that. So yeah. All right.
Yeah, I was like, I want to go and cross it.
All right. So before we give our stuff, our contact information, I gather we have some feedback.
We do. We have some feedback from Ken. I wanted to add this in.
Ken from Chicago.
Ken from Chicago, who is at Ken from Chicago on the Twitter machine. He interacts with us every week on Twitter. So I thought I'd give him a shout out and read some of his feedback.
And tags me in every post, but that's a whole separate gripe. Ken, stop tagging me in every reply. Especially when I'm not involved in it.
You can just write to the
Just saying.
to the Fandom Zone cast Twitter thing, but I don't mind if you tag me. Ken.
No, tag Karen. She likes it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Tag Karen. She likes it. That sounded really dirty. But anyway, here's what he says. Yes, I agree with Charles that Jefferson was suffering from quote unquote stitches, muscle cramps, after his first time superheroing in 9 years.
That's easy for you to say.
I know. I think Lawanda thought Layla would merely hit her. Oh, Lala would merely hit her or beat her up, and she'd record it on camera versus recording her own murder. Probably true.
Probably.
Plus, Charles, Oliver Queen has a history of lying to his family, but growing up, my family was like Karen's. They'd beat me at cards soundly, so it was so I'd step up my game. No mercy in this dojo. Yeah, seriously. They weren't like Will Riker's dad who cheated him with that helmet game. Trick logic. Smiley face. Sorry, I have to choose Charles. Philinda is
This
bae.
is wise.
Philinda's bae.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I just don't see it.
Oh, it's there. It's electric.
Colson and May, all right. And then he says, I think I said that right. Is it Philinda?
There's better chemistry there than there is with Mon-El and Supergirl.
Well, right now, definitely.
Well, before.
Oh, I like Mon-El and Kara. And then he wrote tag Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., smiley face. Oh, yeah, I noticed Arrow's divided. We follow joint episode titles like the Flashpoint Paradox titles from last season.
Right.
So that's some of the feedback he gave us.
Well, thank
from
you,
the last
Ken.
episode, and we appreciate it. So if you would like to leave feedback like Ken did.
Yeah, because Ken just, he hit us up on the Twitter machine.
That's right. As he's listening, I think he tweets little pieces here and there.
Yeah, I think he live tweets
our podcast, which
podcast.
is pretty awesome, I think.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to get in touch with us.
But if you're not listening to the podcast, it has to sound really random.
It kind of does,
right.
but it's cool.
Yeah.
It is at Fandom Zonecast on the Twitter machine. We are on Facebook on Facebook at facebook.com/Fandom Zone Podcast. Our email is fandomzonecast@gmail.com. Listen and subscribe to us in Apple Podcasts and leave us a review. You can just find us there by looking for Fandom Zonecast.
Yes. And Karen, where can they reach you on the
They can find
interwebs?
me at Aliveria or at Ali's_stuff. And there's a link to my blog where you can find all my other links.
Yep.
And you?
As for me, of course, at Charles Skaggs on the Twitter machine, at Charles Skaggs on the Instagram, Google Plus for you crazy kids on the Google Plus, Facebook, of course, at Charles Skaggs, and my blog, Geeky Things.
Damn good coffee and hot.
Boy, Dale was a little jumpy there on that one.
Just a little.
A little bit. That's all right.
Not much.
I know. I'm just giving you a hard time. So yeah, Damn Good Coffee and Hot, where I talk about all the shows that we talk about here on the Fandom Zone podcast and more. And like today, I posted some trailer stuff from, let's see, the Jessica Jones season 2.
I can't wait.
Which is coming up. And what was the other thing I posted today? I forget.
I don't know. Did you see the poster for Deadpool?
That's what I posted. Yeah, the Deadpool 2 trailer. Yes, thank you. So yes. So
well, there's a poster too.
Oh, there's a poster, but yeah, there's also the new trailer.
Blaster.
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
I love.
Yep.
What a feeling.
So where we get our first good look at Josh Brolin as Cable, and they teased X-Force. So, you know, we got to see like what appears to be Bishop and Shatterstar. If you're familiar with X-Force.
I liked Cable.
So,
and I liked playing with the little dolls when they were trying to get his arm.
Yep.
Worked
It's
on.
worth checking out. Let's put it that
So
way.
great. Yeah.
So you can find that on my blog as well, on top of all the other stuff. So thanks everybody for checking out my blog, and thanks everybody for liking us and following us on Facebook, because that helps. And then, you know, if you rate us on Apple Podcasts and leave us a review, that also helps people find us, which we appreciate as well. All right. So next we're gonna do flip the vinyl over to side B.
That's right. Put the needle down, and we'll be back for episode 128B.
Yes. So come on back, where we'll talk about Black Lightning, Arrow, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Representative.